west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been the proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm throwing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modify the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get through the fire. Around with me, and I had a nigga spin like a tire. But down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because UPK. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
Warrior with the hands, that's what I'm all about. Hunger in my eyes, vengeance in my mouth. They don't want no altercation. Situation gon' get critical. It's best that you be easy. The end gon' be biblical. Look, flow like a river. It's something like a miracle. Royalty in my veins, loyalty in my ways. Payback in every breath, plus revenge in my heart. The truth in every word. Bring light into the dark. And I ain't never lukewarm. Shit, I blazing in the season. Got plenty food for thought. Just gotta watch who I'm feeding. And I been walking with them angels. So I guess I got this pistol for no reason. Niggas barely breathing, criticizing all my achievements. Won't make me weak. Nah, it won't make me slack off. These niggas baby fat soft. Better bear witness or back off. I be ripping shit like sackcloth. Dumb dogs all barked out. Behind me say I cup full. No room for emotion, so I pour my heart out. This road hard, but I intend to stay. And if it ain't UPK, then they in the way. My niggas righteous, they real, they down to suffer. Flow so deep, it'll drown a motherfucker. He say he in the truth, oh yeah? Well, this the home. And I don't hate them brothers, I'm just too loyal to my own. Plus what they believe, hard for me to follow. No rank me, no head, and I ain't leaving this body to live and sleep in hollow. So when they ask I'm UPK, you tell them absolutely. And I ain't trimming my ways for nothing, gotta execute me. Cause I can never die with my tail tucked between my legs. Shit I be thinking, watching my daughters tucked in their bed. They so smart. And Alana, she so beautiful, but they ain't like other babies. And they daddy far from usual. Now I'm missing cause I'm about my father's business. It ain't about this shit I used to do in that 98 Navy, the tan leather seats. See, without wisdom, this world make you weak. I found out that the truth was bitter. The lies are sweet. Tried everything. I guess me and Johanna had to meet. Now I make the blind see, and I make the dead speak, and teach both my little girls the day that they lie with a man, they better bring me bloody bed sheets. Chaos match the time, this Glock match my handpiece, and I ain't trying to take him out, but I will defend this house, or take a check. 144 in that black trench on some hitman shit. She call me 47, praying for Armageddon. Me and my soldiers dressed for the wedding. Fuck the fame, ask why, tell them I'm loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign, loyal to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chain. Loyal to the king, the devils can't have me, bitch. I'm loyal to the king. That's right. Bring that hot flame, you bitch ain't loyal to the king. Until the righteous reign, Lord to the king. I want that straight lane to break the chains. Lord to the king. The devils can't have me, bitch. I'm Lord to the king. Bring that hot flame, you bitch ain't Lord to the king. Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We would not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem, tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race that made merchandise out of my abuse. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round, take round, take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth, nigga, cool yo. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay dearly. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sit, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with them weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know 2 things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my octave gon' meet the doctor. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die, so you can miss me with that love talk. My UPK soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that mean? Fall on his ass. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Long live one West. Say what? Long live one West. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
For homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking. The moment they are called, their chance of solving a murder is cut in half if they don't get a lead within the first 48 hours.
safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the verse 48. You will find me on the verse 48. Find me on the verse 48. I do anything to keep my daughter safe. You harm them, you will find me on the verse 48. Sitting in that room, hear the interrogator's voice. They asking why I do it, I tell them I had no choice. Couldn't take a threat or a risk to my family, so throw the book at me, I take them charges happily. Ain't no need for no polygraphs or forensics. I put that fucker in a body bag, I'll admit it. Fuck a sentence or the jury that will convict me. They don't understand, it's my family, they represent me. So for them, I risk my freedom, roll the dice. I ain't got much more for you crackers, go ahead and give me life. You don't know what it's like for the people that you love. They ain't there to get salutes, they ain't there to give you hugs. The same that done pull me from the dirt and from the mud is gone because of who? Y'all rather shed your blood. My brother's kids like my other kids. If you touch them, fuck around, get another bid. Plus 10. Put me in the Supermax. I get super jack, working out every day. Canteen super stack, cool with that. Long as it mean my daughter's safe. My brother's winning, that's a chance I take. Still my fate. I do anything to keep my brother safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. I got wives that done gave they all to stand beside me. Kids that can't see me fall, look at me proudly. Respected by men with honor up on their names. You harm one of them, I promise that you'll see pain. I'm one West train, made an oath to uphold it. Stood with my back against the wall, never folded. Grew up in the city where the love ain't brotherly. I ain't had too many friends, I ain't need the company. I'm my father's son, so I'm cool, just don't fuck with me. I say that you my homie, you're my brother, then you stuck with me. Never turn my back on mine, it's to the dirt. You cross them across that line, I end you first. But only make it worse, is loyalty hard to find. Never think cause you out of sight, you out of mind. And I don't mind dying now, cause reincarnation got me coming back. Same scars in my heart aching. Be parlaying with killers from all places. Every last one of them for me a broad day shit. So what you think, I won't do it for them? Once they let me out the cell, shit, I do it again. It's for the family. I do anything to keep my brother safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my people safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Wednesday night history class. Also remember, check out Commanding Johnny Hannah's radio show. We have classes here Monday. Bear with me. We have classes here Monday through. Hey, for what? Haban. So we have classes here Monday through Friday. We have them in the physical school Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9. Check out the Johnny's radio show, which is Monday and Wednesday. Also, ask you questions. We'll get you questions in the class. But as you know, this is the history class. A Adolphus/Shalom, Ira Shalom. So now we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna go into Ireland and the Magdalene laundries. So Ireland had a thing called laundries that the Catholics set up, but we're gonna get into it. Bear with me. So lucky if you could get that for me, Havan.
Carnival one concert. The notorious 18th century penal laws denied Catholics in Ireland not only religious freedom, but also the right to a formal education.
So as you know, Ireland, the English was horrible to the Irish at one stage. It was horrible to them. They denied them everything. Imagine one of the sultans from, where's he from? One of the sultans sent £10,000 to Ireland, and the Queen of England, Queen Victoria, said, yo, to the sultan, yo, lower how much you're sending to the Irish because you're sending more than me. The sultan had to lower how much he sent, man. I'm sure she sent 2,000, the sultan had to send 1,000. That's lucky, go ahead.
Also, the rights to a formal education.
That's lucky, go ahead.
The rights to a formal education and entry into the legal profession and government. Their right to own and inherit land were also severely curtailed. The result was that the Irish Catholic elite became. The result was that the Irish Catholic elite largely became merchants and were educated on the continent, and an increasingly wealthy Catholic mercantile class became more evident by the end of the 18th century. With the outbreak of the French Revolution, a national seminary was established in Maynooth as Catholicism
Oh,
republicanism.
wait, I'm gonna see if I can skip this. Let me skip this one. Slacky, go ahead.
Conwan Khan, because the foundations of many of the Anglican churches were formerly Roman Catholic in the pre-Reformation era, before the brutal subjugation of the country by Cromwell's army in the 1640s, as the Bishop of Kildare and Layin expressed it in 1820s.
So what we're reading right now is a backdrop of Ireland after Cromwell and how they destroyed Ireland and how Ireland tried to pick itself up. Go ahead.
Khan, they Catholics are still bound to rebuild and ornament their own former parish church and spire, that they may stand in the midst of them as a record of the right of conquest or triumph of law over equity and the public good. Another contemporary Catholic commentator concurred, it is not right that those who live upon potatoes and sour milk should be called on to build elegant churches for those who fare sumptuously and drink wine every day. The irony appears to be lost on commentator that the Irish were poor also. The Irish poor were called on also, and indeed responded to the consistent fundraising efforts led by the Catholic hierarchy and
So now,
clergy.
so now, so now the backdrop of this is the Irish was broke, so now they was doing fundraisers to get money. So that's the things they was doing. They was doing all these type of fundraisers to get some type of money. But we're gonna skip that for time's sake. Also, I'm trying to think. Hold on. Bear with me. All right, so this is letting you know that certain Catholics entered the ranks in a certain religious order. Hold on. So the Catholic middle class, they entered a certain position. Let me skip that one. I'm trying to see what I really need because all of this is just giving you the rundown of the same thing. Bear with me. This is letting you know about religious orders again. Hold on, bear with me. Yeah, let me get this one.
Khan, as a modern democratic and nationalist states came to be established throughout Europe in the 19th century, as European imperialism expanded globally, the Catholic Church hierarchy operated a policy of setting up voluntary organizations run by religious orders.
So now, so the Catholic Church set up organizations that was run by religious orders. So over time, they started setting up these religious orders and people to run them, and they started setting up nuns and Catholic priests and so forth. Go ahead.
Khan, or lay people with express allegiance to the institution, or in order to assert its power and maintain its relevance within the dominant political structures, the increasing numbers of Victorian Catholic enterprises across the island of Ireland made manifest the new social, cultural, political, and economic success of the Catholics more generally. Irish middle-class women became nuns.
So now, Irish middle-class women became nuns. So that's where these nuns came from. They came from the Irish middle class. And then the Catholics liked how they carried themselves and how they presented themselves. So the middle class became nuns, whereas the lower class, they wasn't nuns. They was considered sinners. So they set up certain houses to house these women that were sinners, and they had the nuns ruling over them. But really, it was like a whole social status thing. The low class and the middle class would rule over them. So the middle class became nuns. The low class, they became under the nuns, and the nuns used to rule over them and abuse them. But go ahead.
Khan became nuns in significant numbers. At the very beginning of the 19th century, there were 120 nuns in Ireland, and
in the beginning, there's only 120 nuns in Ireland, but over time, that increased. So all these nuns started off middle class. Go ahead.
Khan one Khan. By 1901, there were 35 religious orders of about 8,000 nuns
So,
living.
so now at first, they started off with 100 and something nuns, and then now over time, they became 8,000 nuns. Go ahead.
Khan living in 368 convents. This increase occurred at a time when the Irish population went from 6.5 million recorded in the 1841 census to 3.3 million in the 1901.
Imagine this: the population is declining in Ireland, and you got these women wanting to be nuns, man. Listen, if the population is declining, you women gotta have some babies, man. The Bible said, "Let the young women marry." How is it the population's declining, and these women are talking about they want to be nuns? No, man. You gotta have some babies, man. You gotta have some babies, man. Imagine the population went from 6.5 something million to 3 million. That's a decrease, man. Why? Because more women became nuns and wanted to join a religious order, and now this right here is part of the doctrine where it says abstaining from marriage and all of those kind of things. Because why women don't want to have babies when have babies, man. Go ahead.
Khan. In the 1800s, nuns made up approximately 6% of the Catholic Church ordained workforce.
So now nuns made up 6% of the church's workforce. Go ahead.
Khan. By 1851, they comprised about 38%, and they were
They rose up to 38% from 6%. Go ahead.
Khan, and they were 64% of the Catholic ordinations by the end of the 19th century. The idealization of women in the 19th century Ireland was compatible with the British Victorian idealization in general terms, and the Magdalene institutions were understood to be a part of the rescue movement, so evident.
So they had the Magdalene movement as part of some rescue movement. Go ahead.
Khan, so evident throughout the 19th century British Empire. The object of rescue was the prostitute or wayward female who was regarded as fallen, even from the status of a woman.
So now these religious orders, they had a place called the Magdalene laundries, and they would lock women up and put them in there. So women would serve their time in there, but nobody knew it was a prison. Nobody knew the horrible conditions in there. They just thought, yeah, it's a way where women learn to be women in there. And the nuns was abusive to them in there. The nuns was abusive to these women. Why? Because the nuns was middle class and these women was lower class. And this was authorized by the Catholic Church. Hey, go ahead.
Khan, the idealized paragon who was without sexual drive or sexual experience apart from a dutiful response.
Go ahead.
A dutiful response to facilitating her husband's desire. The religious sisters were universally admired for embodying sexual chastity and purity.
So they used to admire these nuns for embodying sexual chastity, meaning they ain't having sex and they're modest and whatnot. And then they would look down on the women that weren't like the nuns and look at them like they were scum. So what would they do? Lock the ones up that weren't like this as prisoners. Go ahead.
Khan, a purity essential to idealized womanhood. And the religious sisters of the Magdalene Institute were further admired for sacrificing their pure lives to the rescue of the impure and trying to elevate the fallen woman.
So now they use these nuns to try and rescue and the women that they considered impure, but the way they was trying to rescue them ain't the right way. Now listen, I'm all for a good sister telling another sister don't be a hoe, man. I'm all for a woman with morals telling a sister, look, man, pattern up, man, don't dress like that. But now when you're full and abusing them and no, you ain't meant to do that, man. When you're full and abusing them and mistreating them and all of those kind of things, no, that's not the way to do it, man. Lucky, go ahead.
Khan, to a respectable standard of womanhood as As the 19th century turned into the 20th, an overwhelming majority of the Catholic middle classes supported the IPP, who argued that they were capable of Irish nationalist self-governance or home rule within the British Empire. The Sisters in Ireland Magdalenes played their part in confining the disreputable women or the daughters of the disreputable women and putting them to penitential hard labor where they could atone for their sins.
They locked them in this place and forced them to do hard labor so they could atone for their sins. Now, the way they done it was wrong. Now, of course, sometimes your daughter might misbehave and you might need to make them do work and do work and do work. But the way the nuns done it was brutal, man. They basically locked them up and had them in a prison and barely fed them and starved them and all of those kind of things. Go ahead.
Conrad one Khan, from 1895, the IPP lobbied assiduously to ensure that businesses run by religious sisters, such as laundries and needlework enterprises.
So now they had them do laundry work. So now these women in these laundry houses would wash the prisoners' clothes, they would sew, they would do all of those kind of things. They would work without a break. While they was working, they weren't allowed to talk. A lot of them was lied to. A lot of them was told, yeah, we got a job for you, and it was locked up there. Go ahead.
Conrad one Khan, such as laundries and needlework enterprises, would not be subject to legislative oversight. British House.
So now, imagine this. There was laws in Ireland where you couldn't force people to do certain things. And the Catholic Church made sure this forced labor was exempt. They made sure to make out like, tax those people and those people can't do it, but let these people do it because let this be exempt. So the Catholic Church played in a part of these women suffering. Go ahead.
Conrad one Khan, British House of Commons debates in 1901 and 1907 revealed how the IPP fought for the exemptions from health and safety regulation on behalf of the nuns. The fought for exemptions from health and safety regulation. The leader of the party, John Redmond, sought to exclude Magdalene laundries from the Factory and Workshop Act 1901, explaining that these institutions' mission was to prevent fallen women.
So now, on this to prevent fallen women, go ahead.
Conrad Khan, from
and
continue.
What they said is, yo, these women, basically, they demonize these women. They demonize these women, and then that way, when they're locked up in a place, it don't seem that bad because everyone's going to be like, well, they're fallen women. So yeah, that's why they did. That's why they done it that way. Go ahead.
Conrad one Khan, from continuing with their evil courses, and that the great object.
Hold on, Kaban, give me 1 second.
Go on.
Baby, no listen to no fake news, them can't. Could do all it out and them never fake news. Notice I just be a bad bitch, I get forward from with you. But the one you have feel good, girl, them easy. She never did a pictures, I rate it. Never did a pictures, half naked. Me never did a piggy ratings halfway, that's why me give her ratings. She never did a pictures, half naked. Never did a pictures, rated. Me never did a piggy ratings halfway, that's why me give her ratings. I know every girl a white material. I know every girl forget the juice in my seed bag. I know every girl me trust to cook my food, nor boil my tea, not even put the milk in the cereal. Me like a catty when medieval. When no fi wash for cook fi clean and no fuss. When she hear me get a new girl, I know that me mean when me say me fight me demons. Multiple wife legally, no illegal. Yeah, straight, me go crazy. I know every catty can be my first lady. I know every press plus body don't pay fi plus Tatiana no fit in and no mercy. When me say, oh luxury dolly fi nurse baby, a trouble when luxury dolly turn no lady. So big up every girl when don't lazy. Your body big, but I your mommy don't hate it. I rate it.
Alright, Shalom, we're back. So Lucky, go ahead, Habon.
The volume's low.
Oh,
Make it low, so.
That's like you're on mute.
Khan. To prevent fallen women from
So now,
continuing.
a fallen woman is what they consider a woman that's not acting right, a woman that's a sinner. So they thought to fix them is to lock them up in prison. Go ahead. Kind of like the olden days where how people used to think you get away with demons was beating the people up. So they used to think that's how you get away with demons. They thought, yo, if we beat them, we're gonna beat the demon out of them, and that's not how you get rid of demons. Go ahead. Like if you wanted an example of how to get away with get demons out of people, they should have just read the Bible. Yeah, you're reading the scriptures where Christ beat a demon up.
Sometimes you got people up.
They have to put their hands on you. Sometimes you have to. Yeah. Sometimes the demons they put their hands on you. You have to. You get me? How about sometimes you have to let them know we cast out demons with. Sometimes you gotta let them. So sometimes you got. But if they're not touching you, don't touch them. But also, you also have to know that there's a demon in them, so you don't want to go overboard. Now I seen a video of a brother that's got a ton of demons and he attacks people. And he tells the people, just kill me now, and he hits them, but he's not hitting them hard, and everyone he's came across just restrains him. And I was like, well, damn, these people are so kind. Because they're just restraining him, but that's what the demon wants. The demon wants to get the person hurt. Sometimes you have to know that, you know what, I'm going to avoid this person. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Khan from continuing with their evil courses, and that the great object of the religious orders was to keep these girls in those institutions.
And now they had religious orders. Yo, we're going to take these girls off the streets and we're going to lock them up. Go ahead.
Khan, the good shepherd sisters were unanimously of the opinion that the introduction into their institutions of an outside authority in the shape of government inspectors would completely destroy the discipline of their institutions.
So now they wanted to keep it a secret, and the Catholics always want to keep things secret. Like in here, we do things in the open, man. Like you see with a lot of those religious groups, someone has to infiltrate them to find out what's going on. Listen, in here, cool, try and infiltrate us all you want. Listen, I understand this. Listen, you get a brother to try and infiltrate us, he's going to be cleaning the school, man. He's going to go back to the report. He's going to go back on the report and say, they had me stacking chairs, they had me cleaning the school, they had me doing this, they had me doing that. Listen, you think we won't know you're infiltrating the school? Guess what? You're going to comment, and you're going to realize, damn, you're going to start telling us shit. Them not sent me, but I want to stay now. You're going to start saying shit. They sent me to infiltrate. And this is why you have to be righteous in everything that you do, man. Because the information that they want, really, they're not going to get. But from the Catholics, the information that they want, they're going to get. They're going to find that people are being tortured in there, man. They're going to find that in there, people are being tortured in there and all kinds of nonsense. That's Lucky, go ahead.
Khan. The Good Shepherd sisters were unanimously of the opinion that the introduction into their institutions of an outside authority in the shape of government inspectors would completely destroy the discipline of their institutions. Redmond maintained. Irish MPs remained steadfast even when English MPs presented evidence of serious abuses involving forced labor and in laundries run by the Good Shepherd Order in France.
So now the Catholics was running what? A Good Shepherd's laundry in France, and there was abuse in there. So now they're looking into Ireland like, yo, you lot are part of the same organization. There must be abuse in there. And the Catholics said, nah, we don't want your outside influence. When you watch those films with Jim Jones and whatnot, the Catholics was actually doing that, man. You think Jim Jones was the first one to have his own his own big prison and nobody's allowed to leave? The Catholics done it too, man. Imagine this. The Catholics, these people try and call us a cult, and we ain't done that to nobody, man. In here, you got free will to leave if you want, man. We ain't forcing you to do nothing. Listen, my band, in here, you got such free will that you can go marry a Hamite and get yourself kicked out, man. How much free will you got, man? Listen, you got free will to do whatever you want and leave. That's it, man. These Catholics, they lock you up and don't let you leave and imprison you and whatnot. In here, you got such free will, you can go to Nigeria and marry who you want and just never come back to here. That's it. We ain't locking nobody up. We ain't forcing nobody to do anything. if you don't want to do it, you're free to do whatever you want. But as for the Catholics, they ain't letting you do nothing. That's lucky. Go ahead.
Khan Khan, the IPP's position, so tenaciously defended in Westminster's, was to become official Irish Free State policy.
And
Ireland's
now,
war.
the Irish wanted to become what? A free state policy. What does that mean? That means once they got their independence from England, they wanted to run on their own rules, their own laws, their own regulations. So they wanted to become a free state. Go ahead.
Khan, Ireland's War of Independence, which concluded in 1921, led to the end of the British rule in
So now
26.
Ireland broke away from England in what, 1921? Go ahead.
Khan, rule in 1926 of the island's 32 countries and established the Irish Free State.
So now England was ruling Ireland, so Ireland was under English rule. Once they got their independence in 1921, they was able to become somewhat of a free state because they wanted that, and they wanted to prove to England like, yo, we can run our country on our own. Because if you know anything about England, England will give you independence knowing that you can't run your country without them. So they will do that knowing that you can't run your country without them, and they do that and do that and do that. So Ireland wanted to prove, listen, we can run the country without England. Go ahead.
Khan, in the newly independent Ireland, the 10 remaining Magdalene institutions, all Catholic in ethos and operated by 4 congregations of nuns,
So this place was run by nuns. Go ahead.
were about to receive a renewed lease of life. As Maria Luddy notes, in Ireland's revolutionary period and in the early years of independence, Magdalene institutions became carceral institutions rather than temporary refuges.
They would lie to people, and people would think, all right, we're in this place temporary. You know, the women that got put in these places most of them ended up being in there for the rest of their life, man. Most of them went in there, they changed their name and just gave them a number, and you're known as this number now. They changed their name, and most of them never ever saw daylight again. Go ahead.
Khan, Irish patriots, with the support of the newly empowered Catholic hierarchy, were eager to establish control in symbolic and material terms. Maternity and social reproduction became significant territory on which to assert national patriarchal discourse of the moral probity and purity, particularly when opposed to the former colonizer. The British Empire might possess vast wealth and political power, but the fledgling free state would cultivate supremacy on the high moral ground, or so the argument ran. Ireland would be triumphantly Catholic above all else. Political discourse in support of this aspiration was distinctly gendered in the Free State. Men immediately began to establish their newfound powers of self-governance by demonstrating control over the firepower of the militarized men and the sexuality and reproductive powers of women, in particularly the bodies of impoverished women.
Hold on, wait. See that again. So now, a lot of times in Ireland, they didn't want women to reproduce, and they wasn't allowing them to have contraception as well, and they didn't believe in abortions as well. So now a lot of the women was going abroad to get abortions, and a lot of them was dying. Or there came a time where a lot of people was fleeing Ireland to go to England because the laws was more relaxed. So lucky, go ahead.
Women and their children. The Irish establishment was keen both to demonstrate to their former British overlords that they could maintain law and order, and to gain international recognition.
To the British that they could maintain law and order. So lucky, go ahead.
Khan, and to gain international recognition of the high moral order of the country. This morality became most evident in the state-sanctioned Catholic religiosity of the nation. Irish society's ubiquitous religion expression was not something imposed on the everyday culture of the people by dominant powers. Rather, it was understood by the vast majority of people to to be intrinsic to freedom won from colonial oppression. The allegiance of the overwhelming majority of Free State and later Irish Republic citizens to the Catholic Church was deep. The people had a profound and intimate attachment to the moral teachings, metaphysical view, folk and canonical rituals, and consolation provided by a much loved church.
Yes, sir, and this ain't no much love church. That was horrible in the Catholic Church, lucky boy.
Conran Khan, the Irish, the Irish, the Irish.
Hold on, I'm gonna skip this one.
Conran
Let
Khan.
me see this one. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me see if I need this one as well. Skip that one. Yeah, let me hear this one.
Conran Khan, as did the Factories Act 1955 subsequent regulations. State records show that only piecemeal inspections of the Magdalene laundries took place from
So now,
1957.
they went tight on their inspections. If they'd done their inspections properly, they would have realized that those women in that place being tortured and all sorts of things. Go ahead.
Conran Khan from 1957 onwards. The records also show that the factory inspectors merely ensured that the machines and processes of production met health and safety regulations.
They was making sure the place met health and safety regulations, but it definitely didn't. As we go on, you'll see. So lucky word.
Conran Khan, and none spoke to the incarcerated workforce or
Imagine this. But while they're doing their checks, nobody spoke to the incarcerated women. Nobody spoke to the women that are locked up. Nobody spoke to the women that are being oppressed in there. Nobody spoke to them. No one spoke to them whatsoever. Listen, if you want to know how people are feeling, you have to speak to the lonely people, man. You got to speak to the people that are low. That's what you have to do. You have to speak to the people that are so low. And if they tell you to be treated good, then you know the organization's good. You can't speak to their heads of the Catholic Church because they're abusing the people under them, and you speaking to them, they're going to tell you everything's fine. That's lucky. Go ahead.
Conran Khan, or inquired into their living conditions or lack of wages.
Nobody inquired into their living conditions. Go ahead.
Conran Khan, or lack of wages and social security payments.
And they had a lack of wages, meaning they was working for free. Now it's illegal to make a man work for free. At this time it was, but what happened? The Catholic Church and the nuns had these women working for free, withholding the payments, withholding all of those things. Go ahead.
Conran Khan, the archives show that the state officials were involved in directing the escorting girls and women to the covenants, in particular court probation officers. But there is not one instance recorded of state officials ensuring their release at the end of the appointed sentences. It was not until
It says there's one instance record of state officials ensuring the release at the end of the appointed sentences. But with this, a lot of women didn't get released. A lot of them died in those places, man. Go ahead.
Conran Khan, it was not until 1970 and the publication of the Reformatory and Industrial School System Report, known as the Kennedy Report, that we see a published official objection to the use of Magdalene laundries as places of arbitrary detention. The report stated that at least 70 girls between the ages of 13 and 19 were confined in the laundries when they should properly be dealt with under the reformatory school system.
So now they said these young girls should have been dealt with under a different system, but now the Catholics dealt with them under an oppressive system. Like the way that they dealt with them, they dealt with them horribly. Like they put them in a place they shouldn't have put them. They basically had them locked up in a prison, whereas they should have been reformed at the school that they were studying at. These are said, "Oh no, we'll take them and imprison them." Go ahead.
Khan. This method of voluntary arrangement for placement can be criticized on a number of grounds. It is an haphazard system. Its legal validity is doubtful, and the girls admitted in this irregular way and not being aware of their rights may remain for long periods and become, in the process, unfit for re-emergence into society.
Now they said these women was kept in there so long that they couldn't even re-emerge in society. Because when you've been locked away for so long, you become institutionalized. And that's what happened to a lot of those girls in that place. A lot of girls that was in that place, they became institutionalized so much that they didn't know how to act. They didn't know how to behave. Because they've been in one place for so long. And it happens. You be in one place for so long, you become institutionalized. I mean, you be on Facebook all day, if you're on Facebook all day, you become stuck on Facebook like a African warrior running your mouth behind the computer, man. This nigga's institutionalized and Facebook runs his mouth on the internet, runs his mouth so much on the internet. Listen, he's been on Facebook so long that he believes Facebook won't, get him dealt with. So he runs his mouth on Facebook and yaps on Facebook until one day he's going to see a dark shadow standing over him and someone take the phone and say, yo, say it to our face. African warrior is gonna have a shock in that day. He taps on his phone, runs his mouth on the internet until one day he sees a dark shadow and someone take the phone out of his hand and say, well, don't type it, say it to us right now. He ain't gonna say a damn thing. People like that, the cowards and the scared of everything. Is an African warrior is gonna become an African coward in that day. He's only an African warrior he's an African Facebook warrior on the internet, but in real life he ain't no warrior. That's why he takes to Facebook, just typing on his phone. Listen, African warrior, listen. We've seen people like you before. We've seen a ton of Africans like you before, man. Ton of Africans that, scared. Ain't really on nothing. African warrior, in that day, your spear's not going to save you. Your spear and your African chant ain't going to save you in that day, African warrior. Your African grunting and your spear is not going to save you in that day. All this English you're talking now, you're going to be talking that African language when we see you in person, but that's another topic. So, go ahead, Haban. Listen, African warrior, we gave you 2 minutes, but go ahead, Haban.
Khan, this method of voluntary arrangement for placement can be criticized on a number of grounds. It is a haphazard system. Its legal validity is doubtful, and the girls admitted in this irregular way and not being aware of their rights may remain for long periods and become the process unfit for re-emergence into society. In the past, many girls have been taken into those covens and remained there all their lives.
These women was taken into this place by the Catholics, by the nuns that act like they're so righteous, and they remain there on their whole life, washing clothes in this laundry, waking up, working, and they was working for free. So where do you think the money's going? To the Catholics, man. This right here is a form of slavery. It was forced labor, and the Catholic Church knew it was forced labor, and they tried to cover it up like, oh, no, they're here for their sins. What this was is forced labor that they don't like to talk about. Yes, Lucky, go ahead.
Khan, they will have a baby and the conditions under which they will give birth. Likewise, it maintains that those who are pregnant should be enabled to decide if they will not have a baby and exercise their options for preventing or ending a pregnancy.
So now, obviously, this is them saying these women should have the rights to have a baby if they want to and not have a baby if they don't want to, basically. So, go ahead.
Khan. Finally, it holds that those who give birth should be allowed to parent a child with the necessary social supports in safe environments and healthy communities, and without fear of violence from individuals or the government. For most of the past 100 years, the Irish government denied access to contraception.
So now the Irish denied that people wasn't allowed to have condoms and whatnot. The Irish allowed people to have No, the Catholics denied people, and the Irish denied people of using contraception. So I don't get it. They moan about pregnancies, but then wouldn't allow the people to have contraception. You can't have it both ways. You either give them contraception or they're gonna have babies. It's just how life works. So Rocky, go ahead.
Khan, while Irish marriage rates were the lowest in 20th century Europe, family sizes were far the biggest, with poorer women having less access to information and support on how to limit family
So now,
sizes.
this is poorer women didn't know how to limit family size, whereas obviously like the rich know how to do it, the middle class. But the poor, they didn't know. The poor didn't know how to do none of this. Go ahead.
Khan, abortion was legally prohibited until 2018, forcing Irish girls and women to go abroad in secrecy and at great expense.
Would get pregnant and then would travel abroad and have a botched abortion. So if you watch any of these old programs, there used to be people that used to like just put things in their vagina and try to kill the baby that way. And then a lot of them would end up dying because of a botched abortion. So a ton of people, because they thought they couldn't afford kids, would have a botched abortion. And then obviously they would also end up dying. Not just the child would die, they would also end up dying in the process. Go ahead.
Khan, in secrecy, at great expense and personal anguish, to seek terminations. Limitations in the current law still force some to do so. There were a number of high-profile cases where the constitutional ban on abortion, introduced by referendum in 1983, was shown to cause extreme suffering and even death. Some Irish hospitals until the 1980s also inflicted symphysiotomies on women giving birth rather than provide cesarean sections.
So this is talking about the 1980s. This is like literally about what, 50 years ago? Yeah, if that, about 50 years, about 40 years ago. So Rocky, go ahead.
Khan, the same establishment through judiciary, legal and medical professions, and religious and lay social workers, was busy taking away the children of poor women and
They would take the children of poor women. So poor women that had the babies, the Irish would take those babies away and give those put those babies up for adoption. So a ton of parents never ever got to see their kids again because they would take them away. Go ahead. This is all the Catholic Church. Bear that in mind. Go ahead.
Khan, and working class widowers, and putting those children into church-run or state-funded industrial and reformatory schools where abuse was an endemic.
So now they could abuse those kids. Why? Because they've took them from the mother. This child's been given a new name, and nobody's ever going to find this child. So they could abuse them, and that's what these nuns was doing. These nuns was abusing these children. Whenever a nun comes to you and acts like they're so righteous, whenever a Catholic comes to you and acts like they're so righteous, you mention these Magdalene houses where kids was tortured in them by Catholics, man. Where nuns would force labor, how the Catholics was forcing them to work for free. So Lucky, go ahead. Listen, the Bible says, yo, even if the ox works, the ox gets grain, man. Even if the ox works, it says don't muzzle the mouth of the ox. Right here, the Catholics didn't even take care of the Irish, and the Catholics didn't even take care of their own people. Yes, Lucky, go ahead.
Khan, it also declared unmarried mothers a problem. It set up
and now they would take the babies if the mother was unmarried. So if a woman had sex with a man and they wasn't married the Catholic way, they would take that baby, and they declared this a problem. They declared it a big problem. Go ahead.
Khan, it set up county homes and funded mother and baby homes for the confinement and to a large extent incarceration of these women who
and these women were incarcerated for having a baby. So of course a lot of these women are going to seek secret abortions because they know if they was to have the baby, the Irish are going to take the baby off them. The baby's going to go somewhere where they don't know, and they're going to be locked up in these laundry houses. So they would rather not do that. Go ahead.
Khan, who routinely found themselves giving birth without pain relief, and then separated from their baby without consent.
And a lot of them were separated from their babies without consent. So it came a stage where a lot of these Irish women started fleeing Ireland, saying, you know what, we're going to go to England or surrounding countries because they are less strict with certain things. Go ahead.
Carnival Khan, as Mariah Luddy explains, representing possible immorality, a drain on public finances, and some in need not only of rescue, but also of institutionalization. The unmarried mother had become, by the foundation of the Irish Free State in 1922, a symbol of unacceptable sexual activity and a problem that had the potential to blight the reputation not only of the family but of the nation.
So now they was ashamed at how these women were. So they thought, you know what, lock them up and abusing them is the way to stop it. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan, the so-called illegitimate children born in these maternity homes died in disproportionately large numbers.
Now they said a lot of these babies died. You know why they was dying? Because they're killing them, obviously, man. And they're not giving them medical care. And they're like, yo, you're the baby of a sinner. So that's how they're looking at it, like, yo, you're the baby of a sinner, and they weren't taking care of them babies, man. The Irish need to answer about these things, man. When the Irish make out like, yeah, life's so hard, and the Catholic Church makes out like, yeah, we the Catholic Church that's been oppressed. You Catholics been oppressing your own people, man. You nuns been oppressing your own people. Go ahead.
Khan, infant mortality rates in institutional settings suggest an egregious lack of care for the nation's most vulnerable citizens. Those infants who survived were separated from their mothers and brought out, placed in an industrial school.
And they separated from their mothers, so some of them spent their whole life in these places, man. Some of them, their whole life was spent in these prisons. Go ahead.
Industrial school, or after the commencement of adoption legislation in January 1953, formally adopted under a closed, secret, and scarcely monitored system. Others were banished without legislative authorization,
Others were
but
bad.
with
Go ahead.
the participation of the Department of Foreign Affairs to adoptions abroad, with little or no oversight to ensure their safety. Access to sterilization was forbidden, and fertility treatment was and still is curtailed. It was not until 1973 that the government introduced a social welfare allowance for single mothers.
So now, before that, a lot of women wanted to have abortions because they thought, yo, they ain't giving us no money. We can't afford none of these things. And if we have the baby, how are we going to cope? So that's why a lot of them was trying to have secret abortions because there was no such thing back then as, universal credit and all the stuff you have access to now. That's lucky. Go ahead.
Khan, the powerlessness of unmarried girls and women to maintain custody of their child is illustrated by the fact that in 1967, a full 97% of children born outside of marriage were adopted.
See, and all those children born outside of marriage was adopted. And where do you think they ended up? They ended up in them households, man. Go ahead.
Khan, when we consider these factors together with others, for example, divorce was not introduced until 1995. Services to address domestic and sexual abuse are minimal.
Now, also, women that was sexually assaulted and complained and reported it, they ended up thrown in the prisons too. That's what the Irish was doing, man. Imagine a woman has been assaulted. Instead of them hearing out the woman, they threw her in this Catholic place. You would have thought the Catholics would have been against that, man. But no, they was all for it. A woman complained. They was like, nah, threw her in the places. Go ahead.
Khan, and sex education is still not taught in a systematic way. In schools, then we begin to apprehend the contours of reproductive oppression in the post-independence Ireland up to the present day. Its effects are manifest in the individuals directly impacted, in their families, and in multi-generational reverberations of trauma and loss. The remnants are visible even today in the Irish Constitution of 1937, such as in Article 41.1, which declares that the family, historically interpreted as the heteronormative family based in marriage, is the natural, primary, and fundamental unit.
Let me skip that one. Hold on.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, let me get this one.
Carol Card. In this context, Ireland's Magdalene institutions are best understood not as aberration, but as a logical function within the ideology of the Irish establishment, whereby law and policy have purposefully and systematically controlled and exploited women's sexuality, labor, and bodies. Ultimately, their function impacted poor and vulnerable women disproportionately. The population deemed the most threatening to establishment sensibilities. This ideology and practice began to form even in the midst of the Civil War of 1922, when W.T. Cosgrave, first president of the Executive Council, found money and large premise to give Frank Duff, who established the Legion of Mary in 1921 and made the eradication of prostitution in.
Eradicate prostitution, because if you know anything about Ireland, it was full of prostitutes, man. Because those women was trash, those women was poor, and those women was trash, and they prostituted their body, man. And Ireland wanted to get rid of prostitutes, which is, I can dig it. Why would you want prostitutes in your city? Go ahead.
Khan. In Dublin, a particular focus of his mission, Duff was a prominent civil servant who, like most of his peers, was initially trained in the British colonial administration in Dublin. Prior to Irish independence, all Irish cities and most large towns included a visible population of garrisoned British soldiers, and these urban
Now, letting you know that it was a place where British men was, and it had garrisoned British soldiers. And if you know anything about where British men are, they have sex with all the women around there and start to give them STDs. I'm starting to think STDs came from Britain, because everywhere they go, they leave STDs there. They went India, STDs everywhere. They went Ireland, STDs everywhere. Every country that they invade, the men turn the women to prostitutes and give them venereal diseases. And you can look that up everywhere England goes. That's what the men do: prostitutes, venereal diseases. And then they come back to England and make out like they're so righteous and so forth. When everywhere they go, spreading diseases. Go ahead.
Khan, and these urban districts witnessed an active trade in prostitution that serviced the military.
See? And Britain went there and had sex with all them Irish women, man, and made them into prostitutes. Go ahead.
Khan, Irish nationalist discourse depicted the British military as carriers of syphilis.
See? And they said the British military are carriers of syphilis because these men was just having sex with everything that they see. Listen, man, a British man would have sex with one of these damn potholes we got out here in the UK, man. All these potholes that you see coming up on the news and the roads not being fixed. I think that person needs to fix the potholes before the white man has sex with one. He's going to have sex with that. I'm telling you, he's going to have sex with a pothole sooner or later. I'm telling you, if the traffic light stayed on red long enough, and there was no fear of him getting run over, the white man will have sex with a pothole, man. I'm trying to tell you, believe it or not. To us, when we drive, listen, Abban, you see, when we're driving, We driving, swerving the car, trying to avoid these potholes, man. We avoid all these potholes and whatnot. And when we're looking at these potholes, because it's damaging our car, trying to avoid them, the white man's looking at these potholes like he wants to have sex with them. This white man's gonna have sex with the potholes, I'm telling you. All these potholes in Britain, listen, Birmingham City Council, fix those potholes because white men are going to have sex with the pothole. I'm trying to tell you, if they find a pothole where there's no traffic nearby, where they're going to get run over, they're going to look at that pothole, lick their lips, and have sex with it, man. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, everyone thinks I'm joking. The oppressor will have sex with a pothole within, give him 3 months, he's going to be having sex with potholes, man. It's going to become his new thing. And he's going to give the pothole a venereal disease, man. I'm trying to tell you. The potholes are going to have syphilis. They're going to be unrepairable. I'm trying to tell you, this devil has sex with whatever he can, wherever there's a hole, he's going to have sex with it, man. I'm trying to tell you. So, Lucky, go ahead, my man.
Colonel Khan, Joyce's Ulysses illustrates this hackneyed denunciation when the fulminating Irish nationalist citizen in the Cyclops chapter denounces British colonial rule and civilizations as nothing more than civilization.
See? And they listen, imagine this. They, instead of them calling it a civilization, they called it a civilization because the British man was spreading syphilis everywhere, spreading it all over India, spreading it all over Ireland. And they were spreading syphilis from the time of the Greeks, man. Some of them died from syphilis. Go ahead.
Khan, Irish feminists specifically sought to counter the misery that the venereal infection caused to women and their children.
See? And they was giving these venereal infections to women and the children that was born of them. Slucky, go ahead. Oh, Slucky.
I think I can change it. I can. Irish Citizen Army medical officer Dr. Kathleen Lynn and her feminist colleagues founded by St. Alton's Hospital in the 1919 in an effort to combat the suffering of poor children.
So they want to combat the suffering of these poor children. Slucky, go ahead.
Many of whom were suffering from congenital syphilis.
And many of these children were suffering from syphilis. Why? Because the British military had a garrison in Ireland and they was having sex with all them Irish prostitutes and spreading syphilis, man. Go ahead.
Dublin's child mortality rates were the worst in Europe, and the city had the worst housing in the UK.
They said Ireland had the... So now, this is why Irish people are always crying about how hard their life is. And the thing is this, they tell us how hard their life is when really they're supposed to tell the British who made their life hard. Imagine we talking about how hard our life is, and they say, yeah, but we went through the potato famine, but we went through this. You did go through it, but you're complaining to the wrong people. Like, don't complain to me about what the British went you through. Imagine I'm complaining about what all of you do. Because understand, when you Irish came to the Caribbean, you became the white working class. We were slaves. You was considered working class. So they, instead of them white British doing the work, they put a lot of you Irish over the work. So you were still better than us in the Caribbean. So you can't come crying to me about, oh, well, we've gone through this famine and that famine. The potato famine. And again, it's rough, but we've gone through a lot worse. Lucky, go ahead.
However, Lynn's enlightened approach was swiftly sidelined with the establishment of the Irish Free State. In the decades following independence, the prostitute was a reminder to the new Ireland of the evils popularly associated with British military rule.
And now they linked prostitution with the British rule because the disease that it left in Ireland, or that disease that was left in Ireland. So they link prostitution with British rule. And what you're starting to see is everywhere British people go, there's problems, man. Everywhere British people go, there's prostitution, there's diseases. And it shows you that they seem to be the common denominator on the earth where everywhere they go, there's problems. Everywhere they go, there seems to be problems. Go ahead.
Khan, Dublin's prostitutes could be seen visibly operating in areas of the city such as the Phoenix Park, the docks around St. Stephen Green, most famously in the Monto district, Europe's largest red light district.
Now, what you'll find is everywhere that a person goes, there seems to be prostitutes everywhere. So now there's a red light district in Ireland, red light district in India. Everywhere they go, they set up these red light districts. Now, listen. There's a whole page on Instagram now where there's a woman that just walks past windows in walks past red light district windows in different countries, and now sex sells now because people are paying for sex. Whereas, imagine this: you're paying for sex. How low do you have to be as a man that you can't get sex for free, man? That you have to pay for it. You come in here, we'll teach you how to have sex for free, man. Where you don't have to pay your money, where you don't have to sleep with some whore that's going to give you a venereal disease, all of those kind of things. Come in here and do that, man. Learn how to get women the proper way. It's like you go ahead.
Karawan Khan, an area less than 1 square mile just to the east of the city's main thoroughfare of Sackville Street, known as O.C. Connell Street.
Let's skip that one. Go ahead.
Karawan.
Hold on, let me see if I need this one. Hold on. All right, so this is talking about when they shut down the red light districts that a priest went and blessed every house. Hold on, let me see if I need this one. Yes, Lucky, go. Hold on. Bear with me. Yeah, go ahead. Let me get this one.
Karawan Khan, yet by 1951, about 1 in every 100 Irish citizens were coercively confined in an institution operated collaboratively by the church or state established.
Now they said people was coerced into these places by the church, and the Catholics did this, man. Don't let the Catholics make out like they're not like evil cult, man, because they coerced women into jail. Go ahead.
Karawan Khan, including psychiatric hospitals, industrial and reformatory schools, resident schools for disabled children.
They would put these places that had no issues. They would put women in certain places that didn't even have issues, and over time, you've been in there that long, you believe you got that issue, man. Go ahead.
Khan, mother and baby homes, county homes, and Magdalene institutions. Scholars refer to this coercive confinement as Ireland architecture of containment, and we can see that its policing had a gender, class, ethnic, and disability focus that upheld the patriarchal, married, middle class, white, settled, and able-bodied norms. The architecture of containment concentrated on the surveillance and monitoring of all girls and women, and were considered necessary.
They started to surveillance women. Just randomly started surveillance and everything and everybody. Go ahead.
Khan, the incarceration of poorer women and their children, but it is also contained travelers, so-called illegitimate children designated as mixed race, and children and adults with disabilities.
Listen, man, if you was mixed race back then, you was pretty much done, man. I'm trying to tell you, if you was mixed race, you was pretty much done. So, like, you go ahead.
Khan, legacy issues stemming from this system of surveillance, punishment, and incarceration are still manifest in 21st century Ireland. One prime example of being that adopted people are denied their rights to their birth certificate and other personal data from their adoption files. And other examples being the continuing institutionalization with capitation payments from the state to private commercial enterprises providing institutional care of older people people with disabilities, homeless families, and people seeking asylum.
Hold on, let me get the next one. Let me see if this is the other one. Bear with me. Um, hold on. All right, let me get this one.
Khan.
Let me see if I need this one. Hold on. All right, let me read it from
Second paragraph.
yeah, from the second paragraph, like probably after 1922.
Khan. After 1922, the 10 Magdalene institutions cannot be understood as rehabilitative. They were not residencies. They were not residences that were preliminary offering temporary asylum, and by rationale of benign penance, and were
So,
deliberate.
so lucky. Mr. Party says asylum and opportunities for women to train for a career in service. They were operated less by rationale. So now women were taught, yo, this is a training center. The Catholics told, yeah, this is a training center. Lo and behold, they was entering a prison where they could never come out of. Go ahead.
Khan, by rationale of benign penance, and were deliberately punitive, and as the century progressed, they became increasingly carceral. There was a general assumption in Irish culture that the girls and women confined in these institutions had to atone for their sins, generally the sins of the flesh.
So now they made them feel bad, like, yo, you have to do this to atone for your sins. Go ahead.
Khan, that they were adjudged to have committed or be at risk of committing.
Imagine, so now some of them was in there and they ain't even committed no sins yet. Go ahead.
Khan, survivors who gave their testimony to JFM and who participated in the MOHP say the girls and the women incarcerated in laundries were generally.
So now a lot of them was generally young that was incarcerated in these places. Go ahead.
Khan, generally young and motherless.
So now if you was motherless, they would throw you in prison. Imagine that. The Bible says, take care of the fatherless, man. The Bible says, take care of the fatherless, take care of the children with no parents. The Catholics clearly don't follow the Bible, because what would they do? Throw you into a place to force labor. They'll be like, all right, you got no mother, we're going to force labor on you. You don't say forced labor, you don't say that in the Bible, man. It says, take care of the fatherless, man. Imagine a daughter with no father. You're meant to step in like your father. Why? Because why? A father is a protector. Now, if a woman's got no father, she's going to go off the rails, man. So that's what the Bible says. Be like a father to the fatherless. Because a woman without no father is going to go off the rails, man. She's going to go off the rails. So, Lucky, go ahead. Listen, a woman without no father is going to go off the rails and is going to go to Nigeria to have sex with an African man. That's what happens when... It's lucky I'm sending shots today. Listen, nobody don't want to go up against me in battle. Listen, the shots that I be firing, man. Listen, I got smoked today, so lucky. Go ahead, man.
Khan, and in a relatively small number of cases, they may have given birth outside wedlock.
And now, they was locked up in these places because they was given birth to outside of wedlock. You know, it's crazy. All of us would have been in this prison, man.
That's right.
Because none of our parents are married. According to what they say wedlock is, all of us was born out of wedlock, man. None of us was born to Al Green, let's stay together, man. None of us was born to that song. We was all born out of wedlock, man. Listen, we was born in a way where our father just with our mom, quick, boom, boom, boom. His turn the other way, we born 9 months later. None of them wanted us. We was born out of wedlock, man. That's how we was born. We weren't born in a nice way to Al Green and to a Marvin Gaye song and the mood in the room being low and the light. We wasn't planned on none of that, man. Our fathers got the mind of the same. Listen, same way our first baby moms got pregnant is the same way our parents had us. No planning, just boom, 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 boom. The baby's here, man. That's the inner world have to fend for them. That's how a lot of us was born. So listen, a ton of us was born out of wedlock. Them Catholics would throw us all in the prisons if we lived in Ireland. Lucky, go ahead.
Khan Khan. Other women were intellectually disabled. Some had committed minor crimes. Many
And
were
now
raped.
they're thrown in them prisons, and some of them had committed minor crimes. And listen, like I said, we all born out of wedlock, man. Our parents couldn't even stand each other. So Lucky, go ahead.
Khan. Many were raised as children in industrial schools and transferred on capitation grants. Grant payments ended. Wait.
And now many were raised in industrial schools and they were transferred on license to the laundries as soon as they became 16. Once they became 16, they was forced into labor by the Catholic Church. Go ahead.
Khan. Typically, upon reaching their 16th birthday, when the state capitation grant payments ended, and sometimes at a younger age as punishment.
Go ahead.
Most strikingly, girls who were committed to Magdalene institutions were regularly victims of incest.
And imagine this, the Catholic Church is full of garbage. Imagine these girls was victims of incest, meaning a lot of them was raped by their fathers. And once they complained, the Catholics threw them in prison, man. Nobody can't tell me I should be a Catholic, man. The Catholics, that's disgusting. How are you throwing the victim in prison? And you're meant to be a religious organization that stands for God. How dare you Catholics not listen to a woman? I thought a woman was like Mary. I thought you loved Mary so much, man. You Catholics meant to love Mary and look at a woman in the shape of Mary and she's like Mary and worship her. Not here. They was throwing these young girls in prison, man. Go ahead.
Victims of incest, sexual assault, and that word. In the words of one saver who found herself incarcerated in a Magdalene after she complained to the guarde that her father was sexually assaulting her, she was told by the nuns.
So now imagine this young girl was getting sexually assaulted by her father, and she complained to the Catholics, and this is what she was told by the nuns. These religious nuns, this is what she was told by the nuns. Go ahead.
Khan, it was my fault. I was in there because I made behavioral suggestions to.
Imagine that. How do you tell a victim of rape it's their fault and they made behavioral suggestions? The nuns that are meant to protect these young girls, like they claim, they blame this girl for her father sexually assaulting her, saying, oh, well, it was your fault. You made behavioral suggestions. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Khan, towards my father.
They tried to say she made sexual suggestions towards her own father, and these Catholic nuns took her and threw her in this Catholic prison, this hellhole, which they called the laundry houses. Go ahead.
Khan, I don't know how many times I went up to the police after Mum died and told them what was going on, and they still ignored it.
Listen, man, the police ignored it. I feel like all of England and UK need new policemen that's going to actually do their job. Imagine this girl came out and spoke about how she was sexually assaulted by her father, and somehow it was her fault. Somehow they decided to blame her. Go ahead.
Khan. And ignored it, and he got away with it.
See? And her father got away with raping her, and they threw her in prison. Go ahead.
Khan. Yeah, I'm the one who's punished for telling the truth.
But now, this should let you know, in the Catholic religion, a ton of things goes on in that religion, and nobody can report it. You know why? Because if you report it, you risk going to jail. So a ton of women will get sexually assaulted and not say nothing because obviously they don't want to go to jail. So they will let a lot of things slide, and they're bringing out reports of what was going on, and the Catholics are refusing to release certain files and documents that they knew was going on for years. Right?
Khan, and yet nobody heard me. Nobody listened. I was just a child. Why weren't we heard?
See, and she's saying, I was just a child. Why weren't we heard? Imagine this. Listen, we don't have nothing to do with devils, and even we would give better justice than that, man. They would get justice from that. If your father's doing that, he's going to be punished, man. Imagine this. They're in Ireland amongst the Catholics, and these girls are getting punished for complaining about their fathers and sexually assaulting them. as a father, you're meant to look after your child, man. Why would you even look at your own child like that? Which lets you know this world needs new leaders and new
That's
rulers,
right.
man. This world needs new leaders and new rulers. Where these things, you'll be punished severely for it, man. That's lucky. Go ahead. And now this is still her giving evidence of what happened to her. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan, men questioned, why was it always the woman's fault? You know, why was I the only one punished? Why wasn't my father punished?
So now, once you do things like this, guess what? You teach the men that you can sexually assault women and nothing's going to happen. So before you know it, running your city like this, your city's going to turn into a ton of rapists. You're meant to have something that deters rapists, man. Now, you punishing the women for reporting it, guess what that shows, men? You can sexually assault any woman and she will get blamed and she will get thrown in jail and you'll get to walk free. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Kanwan Khan, survivors of Ireland's Magdalene institutions are making their testimonies available in an increasing number of publicly available documents and databases, and many and diverse voice and uniformly attest to a brutal regime. These testimonies, which are further corroborated by other witnesses, compensate for the fact that the religious orders will not release Magdalene records for the 20th century, even in redacted form.
They won't release these records, man. They won't release these records that was going on in these Magdalene houses. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. The nuns held Magdalene girls and women under lock and key.
I swear, blind people try and make out to me like nuns are good people, man. These nuns are full of garbage, man. These nuns held these women under lock and key and abused them. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. Once inside the covenants, the girls and women were imprisoned behind locked doors, barred or unreachable windows.
Place. The women were imprisoned behind locked doors. It was barred and unreachable windows and high walls so they couldn't escape. That's what the nuns was doing. When you watch these Catholic movies and you say you want to be a nun, you don't, because the nuns was a nasty set of people, man. The nuns was child abusers, man, that used to abuse young girls. Don't let these nuns fool you and act like, yeah, the Mother Mary. These nuns was abusing these young girls in this place, in this prison. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. Oftentimes with barbed wire spikes or broken glass cemented at the apex.
They had all these things so these women couldn't escape. They had all these things so these women couldn't escape from these prisons. The nuns would beat women up, man. They would beat those women and abuse those women. That's what the nuns were doing. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. The gates to the street were locked. Internal doors were also locked, including the doors to the dormitories at nighttime. As one survivor, Macy K, describes it, you couldn't look out a window.
Imagine they had them so bad that they couldn't even look out the window. You nuns got a lot to answer for, man. You nuns. Just because these nuns, they're imprisoning people, man. They falsely imprison people. Don't let these nuns make out to you those good people. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. They were high, but the windows where I was in the room with a calendar in the ironing room, there was 6-inch thick glass. You could
This
see.
right here is jail, man. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. You could see shadows, but you could not see out. You didn't know anything about what went on outside.
Exactly. So you're thinking Jim Jones is the only one that locks people in islands and whatnot. The nuns was doing it too. The nuns had thick glass so you couldn't see what outside looked like. You didn't know nothing how outside looked. Why? Because the nuns made sure all the gates was locked. You didn't know nothing about the outside world. You just lived there your whole life without a care in the world. Well, obviously, without knowing what's on the other side of this prison. You just lived there your whole life, not knowing what is on the other side of this prison. You're just in there. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. You weren't even allowed to stand and look out.
See,
If
and
you-
you weren't. The nuns were so strict that you weren't even allowed to look out the window. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. If you'd see a gate open or a door, it would be immediately closed.
And
It
now
was like
they locked down the prison like, yo, one door, but they open the door and they close it straight away, so you can't even escape. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. It was like you were wiped out of that area of the world. You couldn't see out the windows, and in the dormitories, they were too high to look outside as well.
So they had the window so high that you couldn't look outside. They kept you away from the outside world, imprisoned you, man. These nuns, go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. The women were given little information as to when or even whether they would be released.
And they would ask if they going to be released because they was told, yo, yeah, when you get older, we're gonna release you. And they was given little information. A lot of them wasn't released. A lot of them was buried there in shallow graves, man. One day you would be with your friend, and then apparently the next day you wouldn't see your friend no more, and no one told you what happened to them. You don't know if they got sent to another laundry house, or you don't know if they was dead. That's how bad it was. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. They experienced the institutions as prisons. The sisters cut the hair short of girls and women brought into their institutions.
The nuns cut these girls' hairs, man. They had them imprisoned. Go ahead.
As one survivor remembers, I saw scissors in her hand.
These are the survivors telling the story because why? The Catholics ain't releasing the records. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. I saw scissors in her hand. They forced me on my knees and she cut my hair. She left me with nothing, only bits sticking out here and there in my head.
And that is abuse, man. That is abuse. Whenever you people lie about the UPK and say they abuse women, we ain't cut none of your hairs, man.
That's right.
We ain't cut none of your hairs. Never, ever, ever. In here, you get fed and taken care of, man. You get fed and taken care of, and you're safe, and you get protection. In them places, they're in prison. They can't look out the window. They're getting their hair cut. Listen, the Catholic Church is one of the worstest places in the world. Go ahead. I need to sit down with a Catholic and ask them about these things, man. I need to ask them about these things. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. And it was then I think that my whole attitude toward nuns changed.
See, before everyone loved nuns, thinking nuns was good people, and now they're realizing, like, if you've ever watched there's horror movies of, have you ever watched these horror movies of nuns? And people always say it's disrespectful that you're dressing up as a nun. It's disrespectful that you got nuns in horror movies. It's true. These nuns are a horror movie in real life. The nuns, this is a horror movie that they're in prison and they can't get out. These nuns is actually evil. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. It was the first time in my life that I learned to hate somebody.
See? And this was the first time in her life that she learned to hate somebody. And she was around them nuns and she hated them nuns because of what they did. So whenever you think, yeah, you're going to be using the term, oh, I'm going to be a nun. No. You think a nun just don't have sex? Nah, a nun is abusive, man. A nun is abusive because she's not having no sex, man. That's all it is. Because the nun ain't having no sex. She's abusive even though these nuns are secretly having sex, man. You think they're not because you're naive. That's Lucky. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. Upon entry, the girls and women had to strip and their clothes were taken away.
And that's what happens in jail. When you go to jail, the first thing you do when you go to jail, you have to strip and they take your clothes away. These nuns also done this to these young girls, which lets you know these nuns was running that laundry house like a prison, and they're meant to be religious and they're running it like a prison. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. And replaced with drab work uniforms. The sisters gave them a religious name and sometimes also
stripped them of their name, stripped them and gave them a religious name and gave them a number, like the cattle. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. This was a name and number by which they were identified.
So now they're like, number 5, come here. Number 7, come here. They stripped you of your name. Why? Because they want you to forget who you are, man. Well, they wanted them to forget who they was. They wanted them to forget that, yo, you had a life outside of here. They wanted to take them and make them just work in these laundry houses and be abused forever. Go ahead.
Kanwan Khan. Identified in the institution as the nuns sought to erase their former identity and insist on treating the Magdalene as penitents, regardless of the reason they found themselves in the institution. Survivor Kate O'Sullivan says of her experience at Sunday's well, if they opened the window, it wouldn't be too bad. They wouldn't open the window. No, you're here for your sins.
That, they wouldn't even for them. The nuns like, nah, we ain't opening the window. You're here for your sins. They wouldn't even open the window. They said, we're here for your sins. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Kanwan Khan, a survivor who was incarcerated in a High Park, describes it thus. You weren't in there for sympathy. You were in there to be punished.
These nonsense. You ain't in here for sympathy. You're in here to be punished. A lot of these girls came in there from birth and done nothing wrong, and they was just punished. A lot of them was in there because their parents had them out of wedlock, so they just punished them. Imagine as a child you suffering for what they blaming your parents for. So, Lucky, go ahead.
Khan. And that's basically what it was about. You did wrong, and you've heard of people.
So now,
say,
with that, we up on the time, but yeah, so they had them locked in there. But you know what? We'll get into it next week. More testimonies and so forth. We'll get into it next week. Clap it up. We up on the time. Also, we got the feast day Monday and Tuesday. Feast of Purim Monday and Tuesday coming down. We're gonna have a ball. Sister's got some excellent food. I'm already hungry thinking about it. Listen, we're gonna have a whale of a time, man. Understand this, man. Ain't no nuns abusing no girls in here,
That's
man.
right.
Ain't no nuns abusing no girls in here. You're gonna come in here. You're gonna have an excellent time. You're gonna have an excellent time. There's no high walls to where you get locked in and you can't see out of it. There's no prison, none of that. Listen, we ain't Catholics in here, man. In here, we love our brothers and our sisters, and you get treated excellent. Slakia, Haban, you can call it.
Khan, man of Israel, I'm Madiam Shabbat, I'm Madiam, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushai
Yahweh Hashem Yishabak Kafam.
Yadimatal, Sa, which means to turn. Man of Israel, I'm Madiam Shabbat, I'm Madiam, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Yadimatal, dismiss.
Was that Council Lawyers?